Hey, y'all. We're going to get started in like 15 minutes, so if y'all want to grab some food, please, it's out there. Would love for you guys to grab a drink, grab some food, introduce yourself to your neighbors. Really excited that y'all are here.
Test one. Hello. Can you make sure each of those works once just so I can see it now that it's streaming? Like just say like hello or something into each one. Actually, say what you think of Cami research into each one, Mr. Ryan, if possible.
Hello. 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 Goodbye.
Nice. How do you feel about Cami research, Mr. Ryan?
Cami research can suck my big, hard
Hey, this is G-rated.
family.
Family friendly. It's okay. I'm not. Later on. Test one.
That's a long drive for Cam.
Yeah. Trust me, I know.
I would fly there, take 2.5 hours to fly there. As the crow flies.
I know. I almost forgot to record on this thing. Do you remember where this is the volume, not the other troll volume
Play button.
This is the volume. Oh, so Kevin, watch this. Do you see where it says volume over there in the upper left? Yep. You see that volume button?
Yeah.
Try turning it down. Watch what happens. It's fake. Now look at this. Try turning the. It's funny, isn't it?
That's ridiculous.
That's you.
Volume isn't volume.
Volume is not volume.
Yeah, exactly. Ownership isn't ownership. Volume isn't volume.
That trolled me for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I forgot about this. Cool. Check that the camera angle there doesn't suck. Oh, I see what it is. That is taken as this after I'm done.
And you make this, this, and this. Here's how you write this code, and here's how you do.
Okay, that is
Yeah, so it's
now I know what you're
recipes,
doing.
right?
Yeah.
It's not like I'm not designing a home.
Okay, you're like
Putting it together and making recipes for other people to buy.
this is exactly what you use.
Yeah. Yeah. So I used to write those for various magazines.
Do you know Alex?
Hello. Yes, I do know Hello. Quite well. Yes. We run in very similar circles.
Yeah.
They went to my. They moderated a panel at my university. Yeah. I've known Alex for a very long time. We very much played together.
I wondered.
Yeah.
Check one.
Stream works, but very weird angle.
Oh, he's fixing it right now.
Oh, okay.
If you could show him what it looks like on your phone.
My name is Samantha.
They're
What's up, Vancouver? What's up, guys? How you doing? Hell yeah. My name's Kevin O'Reilly. I am the executive director at Fulu, and we're so happy to be here. We are so grateful to all of you for coming out and spending some time with us. The reason that we're here, right, like, first of all, is because I think that at some point we all love technology. Raise your hand if at some point you love technology. Keep your hand raised if you love technology less than you used to. Yeah, absolutely, right? Because our technology doesn't love us back, and specifically the makers of our tech don't love us back. Because of their business models, because of the digital locks that they're able to put on their tech, we can't fix our stuff, we can't customize our stuff, we can't keep our stuff working when they've decided to end software support, right? That's not the way it should be. We should take back ownership of this stuff. It used to be that when you own something, you had control over it, and that is not the case right now. So the reason we're here is because, goodness gracious, we want to own our shit, and it's time that we did something about it. So I'm so glad that y'all are here. I'm so excited for some of the speakers that we have here today. We've got repairers themselves. We've got advocates out there doing the policy work, and we've also got folks from manufacturers who are doing the thing the right way. So with that, I want to invite up Helen and Stacy and Mitch and get things going here. So how about a round of applause for them?
Yeah, that works great.
Perfect. Well, first, I want to introduce Helen Leave, who is the Director of Business Development and Crowd Supply. Helen, your company, Crowd Supply, right, it's a tech company, but you position yourself as an ethical tech company, and I think rightfully so. So could you tell me a little bit about what Crowd Supply does and what ethical tech means to you?
Sure. So Crowd Supply is a crowdfunding and distribution platform for open source hardware. And we're based mainly here in Portland. We run a large event focused on hardware and open source here every year, which just happened, called Teardown, which I see a few familiar faces in the crowd, actually. Hi. So yeah, we help people make, sell, and distribute open source ethical technologies. And what I mean, or what my community means, I should say, when they talk about ethical technologies is generally threefold. They're talking about the rights of the user, and that might be the right to secure, the right to privacy, the right to repair, the right to hack, the right to modify, many different types of rights. But yeah, so the rights of the user, the responsibilities of the manufacturer, and then also people talk about the methods in which the devices themselves are made and disposed of. So that's broadly what people just are talking about to me when they're talking about ethical technologies.
Awesome. Thanks, Helen. Excited to come back. I do have to say that when we said Helen is going to speak at this event, we showed Lewis your LinkedIn photo, and he's like, oh, she's holding the soldering iron the right way. This is going to be awesome. Too many times, right? You've seen the stock photos. There's nothing worse. Awesome. Next, I want to introduce someone who I imagine is pretty familiar with the soldering iron. Mitch. Mitch Kramer is down from Bellingham. He's the owner and founder of Fixco, which is a local repair shop in the area. Mitch, could you tell us a little bit about how Fixco came to be and how you came to be involved in the right to repair movement?
How many minutes do I have right now?
Yeah, not that many.
2?
Give me 4.
4 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Just got to clarify. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Isn't it awesome what these folks are doing with Fulu, first of all? Okay. It's rad. So thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Kevin, Grace, and Steffi. Got it. Okay, cool. Awesome. My name is Mitch Kramer, as Kevin said, and I started Fixco Phone and Computer Repair in Bellingham, Washington in August of 2012. I left a large family business in Minnesota behind and moved 2,000 miles to figure out my own dream and start over at 31 years old, kind of with a backpack and a bike type story. And didn't know what I was going to do. Went back to school for cybersecurity at Whatcom Community College, and then I got the idea to start fixing phones because I've always been a techie since I was a kid. and did a slow build. Knew I needed to do a slow build because when I started Fixco, half the phones in the pockets were still flip phones. Couldn't make a living at it. I actually moved out here to be a musician, but I knew I had to find another career first because you can't make money being a musician, moving to the, okay. So anyways, I did a slow build. It was just me for 11 years. I did it intentionally because I learned it from my family business. We cleaned office buildings in Minneapolis. We had 350 employees. I oversaw that, and I left that. But what I learned is 80% of businesses that start fail. The reason that most businesses fail, they move too fast, they get in over their head, boom. So I did a slow build intentionally, going to school, part-time jobs, working on Fixco during the day. I didn't have a vehicle for 7 years. I biked around to McDonald's, coffee shops, meeting people at homes. Anyways, so I hired a crew for the first time in 2023. But back up to 2017, I reached out to our legislator, Jeff Morris, and reached out to him again, and then reached out to him again, and reached out to him again. He agreed to have a meeting with me. I just wanted to pitch him on right to repair. So he met with me for coffee in Bellingham, and we talked for 45 minutes. He just let me talk. And I was just a repair guy at the time, right? I didn't, just wanted to let him know, like, hey, Apple's gluing the batteries in, and Microsoft's doing this and this and this. I can't fix my stuff. And after 45 minutes, he looked at me and said, you did a good job. I'm going to have a building in a month. I was like, whoa, I had never done anything like that. Sure enough, he sent me a bill. It was the first bill in Washington State. And so that was October 2017. He sent it to me November 2017. December 2017, Apple got caught slowing down people's phones. And raise your hands if you remember that. Okie dokie. I'm from Minnesota, by the way, so we're going to get some accents here when I need to, okay? All right. So what they did was illegal, obviously, and I forwarded the bill to Gay Gordon Byrne, and she said, hey, can you have him tone down the language with glue? Because I was like, they're gluing this, they're gluing this, they're gluing this. She's like, can you have him tone down the language a little bit of glue? I'm like, sure. But when the news came out about Apple and slowing down people's phones, if I remember right, he called me on a Friday. He said, I'm fast-tracking the bill to Monday, because he knew those committee members had iPhones, and they were upset. It hadn't passed out of any committee. It was in 12 states before that. It passed 16-3. It was the first committee to pass right to repair in the country. It lit the match in the backyard of Microsoft. So that's part of the story. Here we are today. And we have a rad shop in Bellingham. I've got a great team, and working on another location and other things. And I'm just grateful to be invited to come speak tonight, because I'm pretty passionate about this. And as Kevin said, he mentioned about technology. I don't know. Raise your hands if you think you should own the technology that you buy. Cool. Keep your hands up. And keep them up if you think that the people that you buy them from should own that technology after you buy it. Oh, cool. All right, we're all on the same page. This is how society feels. I see it every day. People come in our door stressed out. We talk to 20, 30, 40 people a day. They are stressed out about technology. They're stressed out about the companies. It's time for a change, and we have the power, and it's things like this. We keep bringing the awareness, keep spreading the word. We're going to bring it back to fairness. All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Mitch. Great. Last but not least, I want to introduce Stacy Higginbotham from Consumer Reports. Stacy, you as a journalist started covering the Internet of Things kind of right at its inception. So do you remember when you bought your first IoT device?
I love how you're bringing up my trauma. I bought the Wemo smart plug in 2011, and if any of you guys own that, just this January, Wemo was like, you know what, guys, this is not a great business for us. We're shutting it all down. And so, yeah, my first thing just died.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Wemo. Actually,
Moment of silence, please.
That's the first thing I bought that died. It's not the first thing of mine that died.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you want to hear that I can also hold a soldering iron, and that I work for Consumer Reports? I do policy work, and I'm a journalist who's covered this industry, and I'm just telling you because I felt like I'm not going to talk for too long, but I got to tell you that, Consumer Reports, we don't just have a magazine that rates cars. We also do policy work to protect your rights as consumers. And that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm not done with you yet, Stacy, just so you know, and we're coming back and we're going to talk policy here in a second. But I want to stick on the IoT stuff, right? Because as far as I know, I think Stacy might know more about IoT than anybody else in the world. So how many IoT devices would you say you've purchased at this point?
I have purchased and or tested over 500 IoT devices.
Wow.
I used to have, if y'all remember, it was the quirky egg minder. It counted how many eggs you had in your refrigerator. Did anyone pay $50 for that? God, y'all are so smart. What is wrong with me? And yes, so I've had probably the max I've had is 120 in my house one time. My family does not like me. I am back down to 30 or 40.
That's restraint right there. So, right, after years covering IoT, you talked a little bit about your trauma, right? You had this moment where you're like, okay, I can't in good faith recommend these things anymore. Can you tell us a little bit about how you went from being a journalist covering IoT to an advocate at Consumer Reports fighting for responsible technology?
Sure. So like I said, I started writing about the Internet of Things in 2011, and I did it because I used to be a semiconductor reporter, a wireless reporter, and a cloud computing reporter, and I also covered databases. And oh my God, IoT sounded like so much more fun. So I was like, yes, let me test fun gadgets. I started doing that. The company that I worked for, it was called GigaOhm. It was a technology blog. If you know it, you probably loved it. We exploded. I went to Fortune. They were not interested in doing super IoT stuff. And so I started my own company. I had a podcast that was really good for what it was, which was the Internet of Things podcast. And I had a site and a media business. Around 2023, actually before then, but I was telling everybody the same thing. I was like, guys, tech could be so amazing, and it really can. But right now, the companies are not listening to us. They're locking down their ecosystems. You're buying into surveillance capitalism. And I was telling the companies that were doing this, and they would talk to me, and they'd be like, Stacy, what should we do? Like, the Matter standard is like partly because of me. Yay.
Yeah.
Except it's taken way far longer. But, okay, sorry. But the problem is I couldn't in good conscience tell my consumer audience that they should keep buying this stuff because it was just thrown out there with so little thought, so little emphasis on security. The companies that would do it, they would spend crazy amounts of money and then they would like shut down the device because they'd get bought and nobody wanted to support it. It was a mess, and I didn't want to tell people who trusted me that they should keep buying that. So I went to Consumer Reports, and now I do policy. I work on the U.S. Cyber Trust Mark. I have some legislation we'll talk about, and yeah. And I'm also open to hearing your ideas on this because I'm deeply passionate that we can make this kind of technology work for us. And honestly, it sounds so goofy, but it can be used to make the world better in a lot of ways. Okay.
Awesome. Helen, I want to come back to you. Right. So much of the tech in our lives is locked down to limit the control that we have over our stuff, rent-seeking subscription business model, terms of service that require handing over our rights the second we turn the key or boot it up or whatever it might be. So instead of a terms of service, I love that Crowd Supply has a proclamation of user rights. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
So we don't accept every project. We actually reject around 95% of the projects that apply to our program. And we vet them all extremely thoroughly, not just in terms of their technology, but also in terms of abiding by certain standards. And that's the proclamation of user rights, really. And that covers a few different things, but in summary, it's basically don't steal data from your customers and sell it. Don't intentionally brick things. and yeah, don't intentionally insert backdoors, and don't sue your customers for using your devices. And to be honest with you, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that, because that's a very low bar in my mind, right? That is, I feel like it almost shouldn't be stated, right? It's like one of those signs on the walls, and you know that the reason there's a sign is because bad things have happened, right? You know, and it's truly, I feel like, such a low bar, right? Don't spy on your customers, don't steal from your customers, don't brick your customers. Just treat your customers with a modicum of respect. And yeah, we just feel like that's extremely important, and that's the level of trust that we require in order to work with somebody.
Well, I love that. And one of the things looking at that, right, it explicitly calls out that these projects, they will not sue their users for circumventing locks under Section 1201 of the DMCA. When I saw that, my eyes obviously just...
Indeed, yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I think this is right. You're right. Like, it's a low bar. These are basic things, and yet that's the state of play right now. Nonetheless, I'd love to hear about some of the projects that Crowd Supply has kind of helped to fund and to distribute and all that stuff.
Sure. So one that's very closely aligned with the Right to Repair movement is Open Printer, which is coming soon from a group of French technologists. And we all know the struggles everybody's been having, and the being able to buy, use, and own your printer is practically impossible these days. But there are people who are making really, really great technologies that, in fact, are superior to many of the solutions on the market, that are also open source and also repairable and also modifiable to suit your purposes, not the purposes of the person who sold it to you. You know, it's an old adage, but if you can't repair it, you don't own it. And if you're the manufacturer can brick it, you don't own it. You know, and I have a radical idea that maybe we should own the things that we buy.
Weird.
Right? Like...
What a weird concept.
I know. I must be crazy. Radical. So Open Printer is a really great example. And then another good example would be Home Assistant. They launched their first hardware on our site. And it's, instead of an Internet of Things, it is a much more sensible intranet of things. The data that you collect with IoT devices stays in your house, and you do with it what you will. And there are some fantastic plugins for that. The community is continually adding to that. You've got voice control. You've got interoperability with a wide range of IoT devices. And I think I'm really proud of the Home Assistant community and how it continues to develop. And it's moving beyond something that just technical people do into much more of a mainstream situation. And I think that just really speaks to the desire for mainstream consumers to actually not have their technology spy on them and actually own the things that they buy. So, yeah.
Us normies want it too, okay? Just so you know.
I can endorse Home Assistant as a normie.
Right?
I run it in my house.
Yeah.
It rocks. One thing, just talking about the printers that I love, I don't know if y'all have heard Cory Doctorow cite this fact, but printer ink is the most expensive liquid by volume on the planet, right? How absolutely and utterly insane is that? So I love this Open Printer.
That's not corrupt at all.
Yeah, not one bit. Cool. Mitch, I want to come back to you. You were talking earlier, right? You've got 30, 40 people a day coming in, right, and expressing frustration, concern, all these kind of things, right? I think of repair shops as very much kind of at the tip of the spear when it comes to, you know, the ways that technology is failing us in some ways. So could you just tell us a little bit about, like, what are some of the things that you hear from your customers and what that looks like? And also, you know, what are the restrictions that you face as a fixer?
Yeah, and kind of piggyback after what Helen said a little bit. I don't know. As a business owner, I don't think it's good to upset your customers. I don't know. Just me. I mean, right? So we see people every day that are just tired of Apple. They're tired, mostly Apple. And They're just tired of this technology and the companies, and especially people 60 to 90 years old, right? It's already so difficult for them to navigate these devices. And it's just as soon as they get used to something, they change it, and they change it, and they change it. And yeah, Fixco is not just a repair shop. It's kind of a therapy center also, and that's the way I created it, right? We are about community. Bellingham is an amazing community, local, right? And I've talked to thousands of people about right to repair over the years. When I first started talking about it, 2013, 2014, Lewis, I think I heard about it from you first, but I don't remember for sure, okay? But I think it was you. Nobody knew what I was talking about. And then fast forward to, 4 years ago, about 50% of the people knew what I was talking about when they came in the door. Now, I would say it's around 70% of the customers that come in the door, they know about right to repair. So thanks to an army of people, the awareness keeps rising. And now it's rising fast, especially in the last 8-9 months with the whole AI thing. Everybody is just kind of tired of technology. And maybe not everybody, but yeah, we have people come in frustrated, people come in tears, the phone breaks, computer breaks, the world stops. We calm them down. I've got a great team of people, and we get them up and going again. So it's very, very rewarding what we do for our community. And we're not, we're independent, we're not corporate. And what was the question?
You nailed it.
Okay, thanks.
So, right, Washington, of course, is one of the most recent states to pass right to repair legislation. Thanks to that conversation you had in 2017 and the tireless work of all sorts of advocates.
Thanks to Jeff Morris, too.
To Jeff Morris. And I also want to call out I guess she's state senator now, Mia Gregerson. She was one of the champions of this bill and went to the mat time and time again as industry opposition came out and tried to kill the bill. So I think, thanks to Mitch, thanks to all the people, but also thanks to Rep. Gregerson, because it wouldn't have happened without her.
And can I just say something quick about Mia? Yeah. She got it over the finish line. I think she spent, 3 years on it maybe in Washington? 4. And so thank you to Mia Gregerson. We should actually give her a round of applause, even though she's not here. Okay? She worked her butt off to get that across the finish line. So.
Awesome. So that repair law on the books here in Washington, of course, only applies in Washington, right? And while there are 10 other states with, strong right to repair laws covering a range of different products, the protections here are not the protections for everyone. And at the same time, right, if you've been following Fulu's work and Lewis's channel, you'll know, right, it's not just about providing access to the parts, tools, and information you need to fix your stuff. It's about making sure that we can create third-party repair tools, right? Because, the FTC can, issued out, you might have seen a big settlement for farmers on right to repair, which was really exciting. That's something that I've been working on for a long time. I was excited to see that this was a step in the right direction. But nonetheless, it's still the case that farmers have to go back and use John Deere's repair software. And part of the terms of service of that software include handing over all of their agricultural and machine data, right? That data on how much fertilizer they use, what their moisture in their soil is. That is essentially their kind of business intellectual property, if you will, and they have to sign it right over. So part of Section 1201, which Lewis is going to talk more about here in a minute, is making sure that they have actual options for repair software, not just for getting kind of the parity. And speaking of farmers, right? We were just in Boulder last week. I had a chance to speak with Danny Wood, who is a Colorado farmer. He's a member of the Rocky Mountain Farmers Union. And we've actually got a clip from that because you want to hear about just the craziness that farmers face when it comes to these issues. He's got a perfect example. Uh-oh, spoiler. Hold on. All right, we're going to come back to Danny.
You've got captions.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So in that case, I want to come back to you, Stacy, right? Repair is one piece of the puzzle here, but another impact that digital locks have here is, right, end of life, right? You were talking about your Wemo smart switches. Could you tell us a little bit about what happens at the end of life, and then talk a little bit also about this policy that you wrote and have been advocating for in states across the country?
Sure. I'm going to do it a little bit differently, though. So the concept, like you guys all know and love right to repair. Yeah. I want to introduce you to the concept of software tethering, which is not a,
also
yeah,
about this policy.
it's a, software tethering is when a company uses a software, should I stop talking about this and go to Danny?
No, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Software tethering is where a company uses software, the connection that a device has to the server, to control that device. And it doesn't have to be nefarious. This is where you get cool features like, I mean, they don't have to be from the cloud, but this is where you get all the cloud-based features, remote access to things. It's not inherently evil. What's hard is companies, there are no laws governing how a company should behave and how long they should maintain that tether, and what rights you have as somebody who owns something that is tethered to a manufacturer, right? And that is the work we're trying to do here, and it is very closely tied to right to repair. So what we've done is we've started with this concept of company should be end of life. So how many of you guys have had an email from somebody that says, whatever device is in your home that you know and love is going to lose support, and you have to take some sort of action to keep it alive? Anyone? Show of hands? Yes. So what we think is nice is if a company that sells you something like that, when they sell it to you, oh, we're back. Sorry. When they sell it to you, they have to tell you how long they plan to support it. They don't know that necessarily on day one, but they have to give you a minimum. So like, when you buy that Kindle, Amazon has to say, hey, you know what, guys? We're going to support this for at least 10 years. And then you're like, all right, I feel like my $180 is good for 10 years worth of my Kindle. And you know. So we have a law that's it's not sexily named. If you want to come up with a sexy name, see me after this. It is the Connected Consumer Device End-of-Life Disclosure Act. And it requires companies to tell you at the point of purchase how long 10 years worth of my Kindle to support that device. It also requires them 6 months before they stop supporting it to tell you, hey, you know that thing you bought 5 years ago? We're going to stop supporting it. And then they have to tell you the day it happens. And there are other things tied to that, like they have to tell you what features are you going to lose? How can you operate this in a safe and secure manner? And it's like the bare minimum. Like, I have a car. I really wish I asked every single person when I bought it's an EV, so it relies heavily on software. I was like, how long are you guys going to support this? They're like, I don't know. So that's what we're working on. And we hope to bring it to Oregon, and I'm trying to get someone in Washington State, but California, it's in the process. New York is bringing it back next year, and it's in the process in Massachusetts. And we have draft federal legislation, but that could take time. Anyway, but if you want to work on it, talk to me.
Can I just say 15 seconds regarding that? Is that okay, Louis?
You're the best.
So I wasn't aware of that. That's amazing, because we have customers come in all the time. They're like, my iPad was fine yesterday, or my device was fine yesterday, and now it won't do anything. I'm like, oh, well, got to get a new one.
Oh, and to break it, sorry, if you want to control it after it's died, it's possible that you will have to break a digital lock. I brought it all the way around, you guys.
There it is. There it is, right? And that's one of the things that we've addressed with our bounty system. I don't know if y'all have seen our bounty program, but what we're trying to do is draw attention to how crazy it is that a copyright law means that you can't breathe new life into the device that your manufacturer has, summarily just kind of killed. So that is one of the things that we're working on. Grateful Circle, Stacy, and also just great projection with your voice. That was well done. Is the sound working, or are we going to have to skip the clip? Let's see.
My name's Danny Wood, and I live in a small town in northeast Colorado. It's called Pete's. We have a large dryland farm, and we raise winter wheat, prozone millet, dryland corn, and grain sorghum, which is milo. I am the District 1 Director for the Rocky Mountain Farmers Union, which is a three-state organization of Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. And my wife helps me and our son, and he has some of his own farming also. And the other issue we had, and I'm actually sitting in the field right by the tractor, Case IH Steiger 370, and it was a year old. We'd bought it, four-wheel drive tractor, articulated four-wheel drive tractor. And when I bought it, an older gentleman had it, and he didn't have all the guidance system and the performance monitor and all that in it. So I had him install all that. I think it was $23,000 or something like that to have that all installed, which it's all worth it when it's working. So we had it put in. Everything was working great. We went to plant corn with it that year, and it wouldn't control the fertilizer. It was supposed to do all that. Well, I called them back, or I was under the understanding it was supposed to. I called them, and they said, well, that's a feature that we have to unlock. All an unlock is it's you pay them a fee, and it's an electronic thing. They unlock the system, and it'll let it do that. So we did that, and it worked great that day. Well, the next day, my son went to use it, and it wouldn't control that again. So I called him, told him it's not working. He said, well, it'll be 3 days before we can get there. And when you're planting, you don't have 3 days to sit around and wait, because that's a critical time to get your crop in the ground. But we had no choice. We could not. We tried everything in the world, and we couldn't get it to work. So we had to wait for the 3 days. The technician showed up, crawled in the tractor, and said, that's what I figured. Well, I asked him what's wrong, and he said, it lost its code. It just was a 5-digit code. He said it lost that code. So he put that code back in, and everything worked fine. Well, I made sure that I took a picture of that code, so if it ever happened again, we could fix it ourselves. And then the worst thing about that is I had paid them, I think it was $1,100 or $1,200 to unlock that feature, and there should be some kind of warranty behind it. I mean, it was 2 days later. They sent me a bill for the service call for $900 to come put that code back in that tractor, which they could have done that. They could have told us over the phone and we could have entered it. But so it's just things like that. I know in the grand scheme of things, the $900 service call was not a big deal, but it is. $900 is $900. You add that up a few times through the years, and that adds up to a lot of money. And like I said, when you're paying them huge prices up front, they shouldn't be charging you to come back out because it lost its code. That's not on me. That's on their equipment. But I just think when you buy something and you own it, you should own it fully, not own like that tractor sitting right out here in the field. I shouldn't own that piece of iron, but not the stuff that makes that iron run. When I bought that, I bought it as a unit that should run. Everything should work. And I believe in having to pay for the unlocks and everything to get everything to work, but you only have to pay once. You should not have to pay for them to come back out and enter digital code, because that digital code, when you bought that unlock, should be access to you. That should be your code, and you should have that forever. And that's why I took a picture of it, and we will always have that code. The kid wasn't very happy that I did it, but it's like, dude, this is my tractor, and I'm going to take a picture of that.
Danny. He's absolutely right. It's his tractor. He's going to take a picture of it. Awesome. Well, Mitch, Helen, Stacy, thank you all so much for coming out. If we could have a round of applause for our panelists. Awesome. So next, we are going to play another video because we've got all our friends sending in videos from Representative Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez. As you all might know, I'm just going to say MGP, right? She is a staunch supporter of Right to Repair. She has been an ally of ours in D.C., which are hard to come by. So unfortunately, she is across the district. She's got a big race coming up, as you might have heard about. But she sent this along for us.
Hi, Fulu. I'm Marie. I am actually a member of Congress now, but I used to run an auto repair and machine shop with my husband, and actually, right to repair is like probably the biggest reason that I ran for Congress. Just seeing our culture get turned into like a class of permanent renters where we don't own stuff, and it's all these like black boxes where you don't have agency. And like most of the cars we work on are older, like 20 years old, and going from like being able to repair a headlight for my cost $3 just to replace the light bulb, and now the newer cars, it's like you gotta do the whole headlight assembly, and it's $1,200, and having people cry in your waiting room because that's their entire emergency fund. Like you look at the life cycle analysis on washing machines and like home appliances, like it is crazy. It is everywhere. It's pervasive. And it's not just about like the cost of it, like yeah, that's a big deal, but it's also about building agency and self-sufficiency and like a different incarnation of environmentalism where it's like, no, we are stewards of stuff. We're not just consumers. We are stewards. We know how to do things. We have agency in our lives. And that's why I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I think this is sort of core to actually democracy and like having agency in your life, being able to come to a question with power and not like this, posture of soliciting. And we've had some good wins. We've got more co-sponsors now than we've ever had on My Repair Act. We were actually able to pass a piece of the military right to repair. Crazy that even our service members aren't able to fix their own stuff, but have to like be on hold with the manufacturer. And then leaving the service without having those skills themselves. Fortunately, the House Committee on Armed Services were like, they saw the argument here that like this is billions of dollars of taxpayer money that's not going where it ought to go, and starting to renegotiate these contracts and ensuring that our service members have the right to fix our own stuff in the military. It's a small piece. We're seeing movement and growth. It's an uphill battle because, I'll be honest, most members of Congress don't fix their own shit. It's rare, and we can't let that culture and ethic die. I worry about that. Feels like we're kind of on a tipping point where if we don't start to assert these rights and really have them in a fulsome way, like the next generation isn't gonna know like the joy of fixing stuff and passing down those skills. So I really appreciate what you're doing. I have a lot of respect for it. Keep fighting. It's a really important issue, and we'll see you guys around.
Awesome. We also have two members of MGP's staff here, Sarah and Noah, if you could raise your hand. They want to talk to you. They want to hear about your stories with repair, with your technology, all those kind of things. So later on, say hi. All right. Enough from me. Y'all came to hear from Lewis. So let's hand it over to man who needs no introduction, Lewis Rossman.
Hello. So I thought before we started talking about the problem with what ownership is today, I thought we would start with what it used to mean about 700 years ago. So if you look in the Oxford English Dictionary, you'll see that in the 14th century, that purchase used to mean to acquire something in exchange for payment, the action or act of obtaining something in exchange for payment or money and equivalent. Now let's go to the 2023 definition of ownership from Sony, not the Oxford Dictionary. Their definition of ownership is, as of December 31st, 2023, due to our content licensing arrangements with content providers, you will no longer be able to watch any of your previously purchased, not rented, not streamed, purchased content from your Discovery library. We sincerely thank you for your continued support. Thank you, PlayStation Store. Another word that I like when it comes to ownership is lifetime. So lifetime used to mean in the 14th century, which was it seems like they had it pretty good back then, the duration of a person or animal's life, the period of time over which a person's life extends. Now, what is Vital Source's definition? One of the most popular sellers of college textbooks. It is a lifetime. You can spend about $50 extra if you want to be able to get your textbook for life instead of for 180 days. And if you spend the extra $50, what you get is not 5 years, typically 5 years of online access, not ownership, and permanent downloads, which sounds great, but to a supported device. And if you read the fine print, devices are typically supported for up to 5 years. For books, Amazon has taken away the ability for you to actually download a book. And they have, right now, there are several books that are listed as being sold without digital rights management, yet when you buy them, they have DRM, in spite of the fact that they literally are sold saying that they do not have digital rights management. Anybody here have kids? How many of you bought a baby monitor? How much did you spend on your baby monitor, if you had a guess? Probably. Anybody here spend more than $100? More than 200? More than, okay. Everybody's hand went down. If you spend $400 for a baby monitor, would you expect it to keep working for more than a year? then you are wrong, because in 2024, this is a $400 baby monitor that has contact-free breathing technology, uses proprietary sensor fusion to track your baby's breathing patterns, and at some point they sent out a notice saying that this is only available with a Miku membership, which is a monthly subscription. It's not only these types of items, even wheelchairs are locked behind paywalls. If you want to be able to catch the bus by going 8 kilometers an hour instead of 5 or 6, you now have to pay more money. This is a person with multiple sclerosis that figured out how to unlock that, and they were able to now catch the bus in peace. Now, there's one company that did this where it just kind of struck a tone with me and got me started with this, what we have here going on here with the bounty program, and that's a company called Future Home. Future Home is a company that went bankrupt. They make a lot of devices that you can use in your home, like smart thermostats and stuff for your kitchen. And after they went bankrupt, the people that took over the company sent out a firmware update that would require you to pay $117 a year to be able to use the product the way that you were using it before. So we put back, now, when we put out a bounty on this saying that if we are able to make this device work the way it did before, we will give you $5,000, the CEO of the company said that if doing that is illegal hacking. So let's get this straight. If you send out a ransomware update that makes the device stop working unless you pay me money every month for the rest of your life, that's a business model. But if I say, here is how to make this work again with open source software, that's illegal hacking. Now, in Norway, luckily, where this device is made, he's completely full of shit. This is not illegal. It is not against the law in any way, because they have sane IP laws. In the United States, he is correct. This is actually considered illegal hacking because of something called Section 1201 of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. It says that if you break a digital lock, even for the purposes of repair to get access to a protected work, that is illegal. And if I have a donate button on my website to actually allow me to maybe make a living from making my code, if I put a donate button on my site and people start giving me $5 to $10 for what I've done, I can go to federal prison for 3 to 5 years for making that repair available to other people. So this is a program that became more and more popular. We've done this not just with Future Home's smart thermostats. We've also done this with the Nest Learning thermostat in the United States. We have done this with the Echelon exercise bike as well. This company sent out a firmware update that caused your exercise bike to only work with the software that it came with, which it may surprise some of you, but at the same time that they sent out that firmware update, there were ads in it, and it also had a bunch of subscriptions put into it as well. So as if you needed another reason to put off using an exercise bike. For me, that would have actually been a favor. Now I can say, listen, I would love to exercise. I would love to get rid of my gut, but I can't because I don't have money for the subscription. Great cover. Now, everybody so far has been releasing these solutions, but the person that made this did not release the solution because they don't want to risk going to federal prison for 3 to 5 years. And I don't blame them. And the reason that we're doing this program is twofold. It's one of these things where it's like anybody here watch The Honeymooners? Remember when Ralph would go to Norton and say, heads I win, tails you lose? One of the problems that we've been dealing with over the years is every single time you bring this problem up to legislators, they will say that the problem doesn't actually exist. So the way I see it is if we put a bounty out and hundreds of thousands of people get to use their thermostat again without dealing with the ransomware from the Future Home CEO, that's a great win. A lot of people understand the problem, and they understand why they should be invested in a solution. But if somebody doesn't release the solution, it gets even better. Because now I get to walk up to all the people that are used to saying this.
My name is Samantha Kerschel, and I'm the Executive Director for TechNet. Respectfully, we are testifying in opposition to Senate Bill 5799 today. We believe this legislation is in search of a problem that does not exist.
Look at the smirk.
Something that's resonated with me is something that you heard early on here, is this is legislation in search of a problem.
Now, they will consistently say that it is legislation in search of a problem. So I would like to do is have the ability to walk up to these lobbyists and walk up to these legislators and say, would you be okay with this gentleman releasing the solution so that people can use their exercise bikes again? Would you commit, would you sign something that says that he cannot be prosecuted? And if you're not willing to do that, then, well, there is a problem. And ironically, for one of the people that testified, we actually found this on their personal Twitter. I'm experiencing phone issues. The phone is on, but the screen is blocked. I've tried everything. Now, you can't click this because this may be a surprise, but they deleted their personal Twitter and YouTube after I posted, and Facebook after I posted this. But if you clicked it back in 2020, it would say, it's time for a new phone. Wish I could find some place to fix it. Solution in search of a problem, my ass. Now, one of the things that Kevin had said is, well, you know, is there... I understand it. Do you really have to record every single one of these because you're probably going to be giving the same speech every time? However, in the world that we live in, 1 month is it's like cat years. It's like 1 month is like 7 to 20 years here. And the past month, since I did the first speech and Austin on the first stop of the tour, a company called Roost discontinued pipe leak sensors that are supposed to go into basements a year and a half before the date that they advertised it. I'm sure that's not going to result in any flooded basements. Sony decided yet again to do the exact same thing, and one of my favorite parts of this is when they did, they actually put a notice on screen that says "Play has no limits." Don't have that here, but it's part of their logo is they have a "Play has no limits" right under the message saying that, by the way, we're taking away access to all of your purchase stuff in your library. And they got and a representative from the ESA said that if you run a Minecraft server, that is illegal and piracy to the California State Senate. This is something you could download off of Microsoft's own website. So this is something that's continuing more and more. Now, I sound like a biased person. I'm in favor of right to repair. I like modifying my own things. So when I'm saying, here's why I think the law should be fixed in my way, it's probably not very interesting to listen to somebody who has their own personal interest in this. I have a repair company. I like tinkering with things. So I would like you to take 2 minutes to listen to what the architect of this law, the person who wrote all of it in the mid-90s, had to say about the law approximately 20 years later. Thank you very much to Maria from Fulu for digging all of these clips out of the ether and finding them all for us.
Unfortunately, at least in some areas, our policies haven't worked out too well. Our attempts at copyright control, at least thus far, have not been successful. But I don't just blame teenagers and college students. I really blame the moguls in the music industry, because had they been thinking about these business models when we were doing our work in 1994 in the Clinton administration, had they been developing effective online distribution models when the internet first came into business, had they been talking to Steve Case when AOL first started to become a big deal, and really seriously developing an online business model, perhaps we would not be in the situation that we are. But the culture of that industry was such that, those people were concerned principally with, and their talents were developing talent, understanding public taste. They didn't know anything about distribution or technology or anything like that. Minions dealt with that. Well, their industry has paid the price. Hopefully there's not any, I won't be quoted in the U.S., but I'm afraid our Clinton administration policies didn't work out very well.
I am quoting him.
Now, a lot of people accused me at the time of doing an end run around Congress and everybody else by negotiating these treaties and then coming back and saying, well, because we submitted this to Congress before the treaties process was completed, then coming back and saying, well, now you have to do this, Congress, because we've agreed to a treaty. And I would say that they're probably right, that it was an end run, and it was partly deliberate. And the final statute that comes out, was a guy who was the head of then the biggest record company in the world, Warner Records, and he was a very nice guy, and he wrote a book a few years later after he retired and confirmed what I always thought to be the case about record industry executives. Record industry executives are impresarios. And the most successful record industry executives, I would characterize as a 45-year-old man who can think like a 17-year-old girl and likes to hang out at 3 o'clock in the morning and do drugs with rock stars. And he basically admitted to all of that in his book that he wrote several years later. Unfortunately, that is not a mindset, a part of the brain that does very well at evolving new business models for highly complex technologies.
So let's get this straight. He did an end run around the democratic process, and he admitted it while laughing to get this law passed. Check. He admitted that this law functionally doesn't work. Check. And he admitted that the people who came up with this entire idea are mostly junkies that don't understand business. Forget about running a nonprofit or a business. If I'm not able to get this law reformed in a serious way, I'm not qualified to run a lemonade stand. I think that one of the things we're going to ask people to do here to try and push back against this, we're going to put out postcards for everybody, and we're going to ask you to write a little story on it, and we're going to ask you to send that to your representatives. Now, I know what some of you are thinking out here, like, what the hell is that going to do? Do my representatives even listen to me? Does it matter? And does the work that you're doing have a point? And point taken. Maybe trying to cultivate an audience of millions of people and talking about these issues and raising awareness is not going to move the needle. Maybe writing a postcard to your Congress member won't move the needle. And maybe spending money on advocacy and grassroots organizing and lobbying and all of these individual items won't. But the thing that I've noticed time and time again is that for many of the things that people will say, well, there's probably no point to doing that because that won't work, it's not because it actually won't work. It's because there's a fear of failure. How many people here, you don't got to raise your hand, how many people here have been afraid of doing something because failing would feel really shitty? And as a result of that, you just, instead of not doing it, you just say, well, that's probably pointless. That's not going to work anyway. I'm one of them. Everybody here has done that at one point in time, whether it's asking somebody out, starting a business, talking to your boss, whatever it is. It's very easy to have that fear of failure. And maybe all of those things won't do it, but we're going to do them anyway. And we're going to put all of them together as part of a cohesive strategy with more things we're doing to try and get this stuff changed so that my kids could live in a future where they don't have a thermostat that's a subscription, where their wheelchair doesn't ask them for to get past a paywall so that they can catch the bus. I want you to bypass that cynicism for about 90 seconds, so that long enough to be able to write something to to one of your congressional representatives using the postcards that we're going to give you. Because when we're 70 or 80 or 90 years old, looking back on it, the thing that we're most likely to regret is not the stuff that we did that didn't succeed, but the attempts that we made that we never actually made. There's a lot that can be done if people actually band together. And that's the point of this tour, to show up to every single one of these cities and start getting people involved and start getting that snowball rolling down the hill and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and showing that it actually does make a difference. And if it doesn't, well, better than doing nothing. That's about that.
Awesome. Thanks, Louis. So, like Louis mentioned, everybody, do you have your postcard? Cool. You are going to write to Rep. Marie Glusenkamp-Perez to tell her, already a champ, but the fact that we need change, that we need the right to repair, that we need the Freedom to Fix Act, which will make it no longer a copyright crime to fix your stuff or make third-party software repair tools. So we've got some of our team. We've got Steffi and Grace coming around with pens. You've also got a sticker, which you're going to put right under the address portion. And then what we want you to do is say, Dear Rep. Glusenkamp-Perez, introduce yourself, say a little bit about why you care about this issue, and then finish by saying, I hope that you'll support the Freedom to Fix Act. So, any questions about that? Great. One other thing we're going to do, just before we forget, is, in addition to writing this postcard, we don't want you to stop there. Check it out. We have our link tree here. One thing that we're trying to do is everybody that we meet out on the road, we want to get them onto our Zulip server, which is where we will be posting updates telling you about the next action you can take, the next story that you need to know about, all of those kind of things. So check this out. There's also QR codes throughout the venue. So write some postcards, and then when you're done, don't just take off. Say hi, talk to some people, check out. We've got Zoe and Brandon here from local business Zombie Tech Gaming. These are sweet PC builds. Come check these out. Say hi to Noah, say hi to Sarah, say hi to me. And yeah, thanks so much for coming out. We love y'all. Let's change this thing. And then once you're done with your postcard, we're going to put, there's a, Grace, can you show us the magic postcard bin? It's really cool. You put your postcard in there, and then there's a stamp attached, and it gets sent to your member of Congress. So just make sure to drop it off at the check-in table before you leave. Thanks.
That's theirs. Sure. Yo, turn. Hello, hello, hello. Test. Wait, this is number 6. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What did I do? I don't even need this thing technically. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't need it to come out of the speaker. I just need it to come through there. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I'm done with the stage where we're using the PA. Now I'm just gonna walk around and talk to people. Hello? Yo, test 1, 2, Lily. That's. Turn it up over there, Lily. Yeah. You see the 2 knobs? No, what are these? Where's Kevin? Actually, Kevin will tell you. Thank you. These 2. So hit this audio set button over there. See that? Check 1. So you do this. You do this. Test 1. Hello, hello. Yes, yes, test, 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 test. Hello. Okay, that's much better.
Yeah.
I think.
Very good. Very
You can hear me?
Yeah.
World's best camera woman. Get some stories. Hello. Who are those people that came out?
We only moved here in January.
You found where to put the card?
Yes.
Awesome.
It was at the front.
Oh, thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, no, nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
Pleasure meeting you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for putting up with us.
Thank you. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, I'm just curious, is that a Framework 13 Pro you got up there?
Yes.
Ah, cool. I've got my pre-order in for that and I'm really looking forward to it.
It works. It's just the only thing is since it uses AMD graphics and it uses Linux, DaVinci Resolve works horribly with AMD graphics and Linux, which is not their fault. It's bad for trying to use Linux as an operating system to begin with. But
I've got the Intel spec since it's where they have all the like power efficiency benefits that they've been talking about. So,
how do you like it?
I don't know. I get it in hopefully September once they finally ship it.
What made you interested enough to show up here?
I've been watching you on YouTube for a while, and that's interesting. And then some friends were showing up, so decided to come along.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you for writing a card. Sir, I think you have more lawsuits under your belt than I do.
I've only got one going right now.
I think it's awesome.
It's tough. It's real tough. If anybody out there is an attorney, I need you.
Thank you for doing what you do. So can you explain some of the stuff you did to try to get the Washington right to repair law passed? Like, what was your process? What involvement did you have?
Oh, I emailed, called, and talked to every senator and House rep probably about a dozen times. I just was very annoying.
One of the things that I think most people are afraid to do is be annoying.
Yeah, you'll burn bridges.
What made you feel okay with that approach of being annoying and not caring what other people thought of you?
Just because it needed to be done, because the law needed to be passed. And you have to get their mind on it or they'll forget about it.
Very true. And thank you for being annoying. I hope everybody understands the importance of that. Okay. Okay, say hi to people, Mr. Ryan. Okay, now you can say what you think of Cami Research without any censoring.
Okay, Cami Research can suck my big, hairy right nut.
I approve.
That's gonna get us sued, you know that.
I'll do round two, man. I'll do round two. I have enough at this point. Oh.
Can we get a photo?
Absolutely, my friend.
Who can take our photo?
Thank you for all the work that you've done in this state.
I'm trying. Oh yeah. Can you take our photo? You know how to operate phone? All right, see if that works. That worked.
That's a good picture.
Oh.
She's interviewing people.
So should I have brought a Cami Research cable?
I can't hear you. One sec. What? She's interviewing somebody. Oh. Lilia had a question for you. Sorry.
Why Vancouver? We're really curious about why you came out to Vancouver, Washington, and not Portland, Oregon. Well, we appreciate it. We're from Vancouver.
Thank you so much for coming out. I know I cut it so I could say something that I can't say on camera. Thank you for...
One more.
Because usually it's something broken. What is this?
Brad Wilson, the guy that mocked my disabled wife.
Lily, we gotta get this. Fuck you, Brad. This is not from Fulu Foundation, by the way. This is for me personally and Mr. Ryan personally. Fuck you.
Hey, Mr. Brad Wilson, you made me a promise. I relied on that promise. You broke my thermostat. You promised to replace them. You promised to make firmware available. Then you lied. And then you mocked my wife. Fuck you, you asshole. Oh, I'm not going to stop. This appeal's going forward as fast as I can go.
I support you in everything. This is not from Fulu Foundation. This is purely from me personally. It's Mr. Ryan personally. This is not from Fulu. This is from FU. This is separate. Okay. Anyway, I appreciate your passion.
With a dead terrorist, right?
This is the guy that they thought was a terrorist. Gemini's not wrong. You kind of look like him. Lilia, does he not look like the 9/11 hijacker? He asked Gemini. He posted a picture of himself to Gemini, and he asked like, well, "Who is this person?" And it said that he's one of the 9/11 hijackers.
Yeah.
Passports they found on Ground Zero.
I know how to cheat death and time travel.
Hey. Hello. Hello. What's your name?
Well.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. What got you excited about this?
You, Mr. Rossman, I've been following you since I've been living in Eastern Europe, in Poland primarily, starting with the videos of you fixing MacBooks and other crap, all New York real estate shenanigans, very good. And I've been one of the first people to donate for your campaign for this bullshit and right to repair in general.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So what got you from Eastern Europe to here? That's a long way.
Around 7 years of hard work. I've been one of the founders of tech company here in Vancouver. And I finally got here in 2019, and since I'm here, I'm trying to comprehend the American way of doing things, which make me aggravated the same way as you. I'm trying to fix my cars. I'm trying to fix my phones, like my wife's phone primarily. And every year it gets even more complicated and harder. with vendor lock-ins. So I'm trying to oppose that, support the people who are also on the side of owning things and not renting them. And I see that the community is growing, not that fast as I wish it to, but like in my opinion, the most of the things around here are revolving around the companies suddenly changing the behavior. I'm still trying to figure out what was the catalyst for this change. But the point is, like, for example, I own the car from 1989. I can fix everything in this car, from the body to the wheels, like all the parts. And the funny part is the parts are available. All the service manuals are available. An original owner's manual has all the procedures to keep this car alive forever. Modern car, I barely can switch the temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius.
Why would anybody want to do that?
I don't know.
You get more granular adjustments when you use Fahrenheit instead of Celsius. Now people say, well, you could use a decimal point. I don't have a single thermostat that lets me do this with decimal points with Celsius.
I would argue the thermostat in my car has a decimal point. And
I'm jealous.
Yeah. I tried to use the smart thermostat and I gradually failed because turns out there is a company called Honeywell which produces the thermostats, and it has a workaround for very lazy people, and this workaround called Red Link. So this Red Link shit is you can't make your thermostat smart or install anything smart if you're using Red Link. It's proprietary. You can't do anything without it. And either you need to drill your whole house down to put new wires to facilitate the features of existing setup with the smart thermostat, or you need to hack it in. In the process of hacking it in with smart relays and stuff. Other things, I work in IT. Again, my company, I've been doing the years of experience with server hardware and server hardware lock-ins and the stuff like you can't use any hard drive in your NAS and shit.
That was annoying with Synology.
Synology is not the only one. I can tell you that, for example, the early 2000s IBM hardware is a piece of shit about it. They even invented their own brackets around the stock CPUs you can purchase. So you can't plug in just any CPU from the market. You need to buy it specifically from IBM.
That is BS. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Hello. How are you?
Not too bad. What brings you to Vancouver beyond keeping up the good work?
Thank you.
Well, I want to tell you, you're doing great work out here, and I work in the power industry, so I try and keep the lights on at night, but if the power goes out, I swear it's not my fault. But, you know, it's kind of a shame. There's a lot of companies out there. They're becoming monopolies more and more, buying up the small guys, and being able to keep everything working between repairing your own stuff, repairing everything else, really important.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Take their website down. This is a company called Surger. And it's, if you want to trade in your programmer, they make you drill holes in your old one to show it's been decommissioned.
Hoover does that with their vacuums. If you want a warranty, you have to take a picture of yourself cutting the cord and putting it separately and fucking everything up. And it's like, you sold me broken shit, and now you want me to break it more before you're going to replace this? Fuck you.
Yeah, so I did a YouTube video the other day on it and then posted it on Reddit, and lo and behold, they have removed their website.
Please keep being annoying. Please keep being annoying.
I love being annoying.
I do too. More people need to fucking be annoying, in my opinion.
So
I respect what you do. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is horrible because these programmers, a small business can use them on the used market because we can't go out and spend $2,000 on a programmer. We want to go buy one for $500 used because we're only going to use it a handful of times. Then it's going to get put in a drawer and stashed away for another day. So they're purposely making it to where these are not hitting the used market.
There are certain items where, like, I know this is going to sound, I don't mean this as a communist, but there are certain things where trying to turn it into a business fails. Like, there are certain things that I cannot figure out how to make money on. So instead of trying to figure out how to fuck over the customer as hard as humanly possible, I just figure, maybe if this doesn't make me enough by itself, maybe I should add other things to my list of services that I do, rather than just try to absolutely destroy and ass fuck everybody that shows up for this particular service. And like, I don't feel bad for this. Like, I've had to kind of recreate my business several times over the past 15 years. If I was doing the same thing now that I was in 2008 or 2009, I'd be bankrupt. You know, but there's this idea, it's some type of entitlement that we make this specific product with this specific features, and it's always had that, and we should be able to print this much money for this much time. And just like, no, I'm sorry, but no. Like, I'm not saying that everything needs to be free. I'm not saying you need to give everything away, but you need to find something else to do. You need to like some other value to offer society other than just trying to monopolize this one tiny part of the ecosystem.
Yep. Like with I make welder pulsar sequencer boards. Miller Welders, they stopped making them. And they said basically you're screwed, go buy a new welder if you want that feature. So I said, you know what, I'm going to improve this design, and I made it, and then when I pack them up and give my instructions, I include schematics with my design in it. So I live to my word, you know. My products come with schematics. If I design it and make it, it comes with schematics.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I like what you do. And I like the cat that you have on your channel.
Cotty, she's
How old is she?
10. About 10 years old. 2016, 2017.
How much?
Huh? She's
16 or 20?
No, I got her in 2016, 2017. So she's about 10 years old.
Okay. For some reason I thought you said 26.
Norman, he's rarely on the channel. He's about 15. And Shadow, she's about 8.
Yeah. Mine is 17 and finally starting to hit the close to the end section, unfortunately.
I had one named Virus. She lived to 16.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what is your channel about, and where can people find you?
I'm Ryan_Labs on YouTube. I do mainly chip programming stuff, some repairs, and a lot of talking, and a lot of kitty petting.
And a lot of annoying. A lot of annoying. But well-needed annoying. The type that, you're a menace, but I mean that as a compliment.
I'd say the most boring YouTube channel in the tech industry.
They're much more interesting than that. Keep pissing people off. And keep, thank you.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Sure, go for it.
Oh, totally love everything you do.
Thank you, sir.
Very,
Thank you, my friend.
very happy you could come join us today. Thanks so much.
What brought you out?
Well, you, and then of course, I mean, it's true that things have become digitized now, and it's kind of scary because manufacturers do have a lot of control with the devices that they have. I don't know how you break that. That's tough. What barriers do you put in place to keep manufacturers from having full control over the devices that they sell?
I think it being illegal for hackers to do what they do best is the best way to go. I mean, if people could just make these devices work again after they've been enshittified in some way, shape, or form, and not have to fear any sort of legal repercussions. Like even just what happened, you see what happened with this people making something called Slopsmith? I forget the name of the company that's Ubisoft or something else. They're making something called Rocksmith. They stopped it from working, and now you have to pay a cloud subscription fee for the new one. The old people made something that's very similar to the old one, so that you can kind of replay those songs and keep them alive and play it in your web browser and use it in Linux and everything else. And they got a Section 1201 from the DMCA notice saying, take this stuff down. We don't want you distributing this anymore.
The rights of the music.
Yeah, there's a lot of different people. that are making things work again, even if the manufacturer doesn't want them to work. And I want to see them be able to do this and not have to worry about that. I want somebody to be able to make a TV work without having spyware in it, like the thing that Gamers Nexus recently got. If you want to make an alternative operating system for a TV, it would be cool if a company like mine could charge you 20 or 40 bucks to like lobotomize your television and flash it with something else where you don't have to worry about this. But the person who comes up with that solution has to worry about going to prison for it. I would want to see everybody feel like I can hack into any of these devices in a white hat, in a positive way, make them work again, share the solution with everybody, and never have to worry about getting a notice ever again. So instead of it being, look, I'll put up $10,000 if you do this, or here, like with Bamboo Labs, I will defend, I'll pay for the first $10,000 of your legal defense. There shouldn't be anything to defend. Like the guy that allowed those Bamboo Labs printers to work with Orca Slicer the way that they did before, I don't think that should be a crime. There are more than enough people out there. Oh, crap. There are more than enough people out there that are that hate these companies, that are happy to create solutions for all of this, that are just not doing it because they're afraid of getting in trouble. I just don't think any of them should be afraid of getting in trouble. There should be no trouble.
I don't know, that was a different path than I was going, so I'm trying to process what you were saying.
What are you thinking?
Well, so, I mean, it's a relationship, right? Customers and manufacturers. Manufacturers are selling products. Customers want to buy said products. And it's not so easy to say, well, the manufacturers are just trying to feed off of customers and get as much profit as they can. How do you have a symbiotic relationship? In the case, who was I just talking to? I can't remember her name now. She was saying, and she's right, I mean, manufacturers have to make profit, right? So how do you, I don't know, I'm on camera, I don't like it. How do you, no.
For coming out.
Not fight back for your right to own your software and your hardware.
From 1 to 10,
I gained a lot of weight. Not doing that again.
Somebody post something on Reddit like 2 weeks ago and was like, oh, that's really interesting. So I'm glad I saw it. Figured I'd come out.
So 2 days ago, my girlfriend pointed out that I have gotten slightly wider recently. And then she said, never mind, but I didn't believe her that when she rolled it back. And then I went to sit on the edge of a table, something I've done many times over the course of my life, and the table tipped over. And I realized that she has a point. She's right. I'm sorry, honey. You're a cuckoo.
With stuff where you buy something and it isn't taken away from you at all.
well, that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your
Is that Armored Core?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, it's Battlefield 4.
I'm trying to get my hands on Armored Core, though.
I have Armored Core 2.
Nice.
That was one of my favorite. That and Earth Siege. Earth Siege was awesome, but the DVD that I had, this is back when games came on CD. The CD was fucked up, and then I just gave up and I never got a new one because I was like 8 years old when it came out. But I kind of want to go back and play Earth Siege as an adult.
Yeah, I got my hands on a game similar to that, Mech Assault for the OG Xbox.
No way.
Yeah, it's quite similar to Mech Assault. It's quite similar to Armored Core, but due to Microsoft's own terminology, despite them owning this software, they will not let you run it on backwards compatibility on their official emulators. The only way you can play this on backwards compatibility is if you jailbreak your Xbox 360 or Xbox One or Xbox Series.
That's lame.
It is.
I feel like I haven't had time to game since I started my company around 2009, and I haven't, like, this, every time I try to re-enter the gaming ecosystem, I feel like I'm getting fucked. Like, I bought Street Fighter 5. I paid for it after I paying for Street Fighter 4, and when I wanted to play as Sagat, they wanted money. And that's when I just said, fuck you. Like, this is not an arcade. I'm not putting another fucking quarter in to play as that character. I was able to play Street Fighter Alpha 3. I got Sagat. Street Fighter 4, I could play, and I could, like, beat up my girlfriend. That came out so wrong. I could... With the cheap uppercuts and like the top fireball and the low fireball, where I could change the speeds, because changing the speeds and the fireballs is how I get her every time. Yep. The last time I played her in Street Fighter, though, it said sheep, and it said that she was being sheep, not me.
Wow.
I tried to get a picture of it for the YouTube post wall, and it fell in. This is... So why these games?
These games in particular are old software where if you buy this secondhand, you will be unable to play this for a litany of reasons. For most of these, I believe these ones in particular, they all have CD keys that have already been spent. If you buy this secondhand, these CDs, despite you owning the CDs, you can't play them because they need to phone home to a server which says that these keys have already been used by another user.
I love that you brought these because I'm happy and sad at the same time with this whole Sony announcing that they're discontinuing physical media. I'm happy because it's waking a lot of people up to the fact that this is happening and that it's bad, that you are losing access to things. But the downside is that, like, people thinking that because you have the disc that you own the game is absolute, like, no, it's BS. And like, I don't want to make fun of anybody for believing that, because I believe that when I owned the game, I did. But like, you could have a copy of the game. It doesn't matter. Even if you have a physical copy, it was over 10 years ago that owning a physical copy no longer mattered to actually say you own the game. All this does is it contains software that wants to connect to the internet to identify itself with another person's server, or authenticate to somebody else's server. Sorry.
It's the only license where I can actually still play it legally just because the previous owner did something crazy. This sheet of paper here has all the login info.
Zoom.
This sheet of paper here, thanks to Joe, whoever he is, left his login info for this game on Steam, so I can still play BioShock Infinite on this disc if I really wanted to.
Enhance. This is like a 2 megabit per second YouTube stream. Nobody's getting that shit.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe somebody is getting it. The quality. She says the quality is good. Crap. Sorry if somebody used your code. Thank you for coming out, my friend.
Thanks, Bob.
I really appreciate what you do. Is this plugged in? Yes.
Can I cheat you to the front, like by the entrance?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Hello.
So, she's the one you thought was somebody's Mickey bot.
Yes, you thought
What happened?
You thought I was a bot because I was making so many edits on the wiki.
Sojourner?
Yeah. Yes, that's me.
Thank you so much.
It just brings a smile to my face.
More edits on the wiki than my own robot. I have a robot in it, and you're defeating it.
There's a bunch of robots anymore, so I don't know which is you.
Thank you so much for helping out and contributing as much as you do. This is one of the top contributors to ConsumerRights.wiki. Shout out over here. Thank you very much for showing up. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you. It's so great to meet you in person. So our database.
I apologize to Jake for deleting the wrong files that were actually still used by the website.
Whatever you've done to Jake is less than 1% of the shit that I give him, and I break every single fucking day on that website. So don't be bothered at all. You've done. He has not even noticed, in contrast to the shit that I've broken on there. But thank you.
We have to get going because the sun's setting.
It was a pleasure meeting you all. Thank you so much for really helping this project, and thank you so much for showing up. It means a lot. We have Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, and the Jeopardy music in one evening. Okay. Oh, Marshall asked me to go up there for a second. Excuse me. Okay.
So,
That was the top contributor to the wiki, so I wanted to say hi.
well, yeah.
What should I do?
I think if you want to just like you be me and have whoever you're talking to here, I'm just gonna get a shot with the big old gong, with even brewing. Just as
Sure.
you're talking, if you're gonna be talking.
Sure.
It'll give, a shot of that.
Lily has been a very nice camera person.
Yes.
She's
She really hopped up there. She's doing a phenomenal job.
Thanks.
Very quick learner.
Thank you. Everybody say thank you to Lilia. She's been a better cameraman. The bar was very low before, but she's still. Hello. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. What brought you out?
I've seen a couple videos. I don't know. I'm interested in what Fulu's doing. I've been. I feel strongly about what you guys are doing, and I want to support.
Thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate it. There's still food. There's cheese. Lilia, there's cheese up here. You didn't tell me that there was cheese balls up here? There's not cheese balls, there's cheese cubes. Lilia, you did not tell me that there were cheese cubes up here? Yo, that is the biggest betrayal I've ever had. There were cheese cubes up there this entire time. This whole time. Do you know where a utensil for the cheese cubes are? I'll take a toothpick, a set of tweezers. I'll take a tweezer. Frank Zappa had an entire album about tweezers. I think it was Overnight Sensation. He always talks about his zircon encrusted tweezers.
I mean, I don't know what chicken. You eat chicken? Jalapenos. I take that and then reuse the toothpick.
I'm going to hell. I just stole it.
Oh, you take the only good part. Jalapeno.
This is some good turnout. Since we don't need that camera angle anymore, would you want to move to some place where it's slightly more comfortable? Pause. Marty's watching, so I got to say that.
This is a good angle, though.
But like every time you turn around, you almost hit your head in a pipe.
Oh, this is a good angle, though.
You wouldn't want to move it forward just a tiny bit since nobody's sitting? Just to not torture yourself?
Wait, let me lock the camera.
Would you mind autographing my Steam Deck?
Absolutely. Now just some place where you could turn around a little easier, maybe. Actually, never mind. He tied this to this. I forgot. He actually tied the tripod to that, so you're kind of stuck.
Can I get some beverage?
What kind of beverage would you like, Minnie?
Something that's not water.
Sure. But you don't want water?
What?
You want water or not water?
Not water.
You want alcohol?
Is the only other choice alcohol? I'm standing on a tall ass chair. I don't know if that is a good idea. Oh my God, you people. I am so glad. Almost 400 live viewers. That's amazing. Me? What is there? I don't have your water. Your wallet, yeah. Your wallet is at an undisclosed location.
What do you like to drink?
Oh.
You like energy drink, lemonade?
Ooh, maybe a lemonade?
Lemonade?
Yeah, that would be awesome. There's going to be a lemonade for me, people. Ooh. Would you mind showing that to the camera? Okay, so there is something cool getting signed. Could you interview this good man?
Which one? Huh? Hello. This is beautiful. This has come a long way from the Game Boy that had no internal backlight that I had as a child.
That's I feel like a fake gamer girl here because these people are like taking x-rays of computer chips and stuff, and I'm like, I soldered the screen on my Game Boy Advance once.
They have a backlight?
Now it does, yeah.
This is a cool looking thing.
Yep. I
I've
like
never
the
seen
Steam
one in
Deck.
person.
Yeah, they were awesome while they still sold them. Before they were, I think it's like $700 now or something.
Why'd they stop selling this?
Because the RAM shortage and the memory shortage.
How much is, so if I wanted to get this configuration, I went on eBay or something, what am I going to pay for it?
This one's probably not expensive because it's not the OLED version. It's just the poverty version. So these were like $300, which was amazing.
Poverty version?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Everybody
I like
sold
it.
those when the OLED versions came out.
So how do you not crack the screen on this? Like just based on how big this
I mean,
is? Like,
honestly,
how do you carry it around without cracking the
I
screen?
mean, it comes with a case. I don't know. I've never broken the screen on my phones. I've never broken the screen on my Game Boys, my DSs, whatever. I don't even have a screen protector on there.
I haven't broken the screen on most things either, but just looking at the size of this, it's very... So what's your favorite game to play on?
On here, I'm going to say the game my wife worked on, which is called Neon White, which came out a few years back, and it was like a Game of the Year contender.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's a 2D artist. They lost to Stray, though, because that was the game about petting a cat, and it had ray tracing. So, yeah, on Steam. Although, she also worked on a game recently called Snap and Grab. Snap and Grab, that's also on Steam. Awesome, really cool game that just came out. So.
Well, thank you so much for coming out and taking the time. I really appreciate it.
I love being here. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
Absolutely. What is this device? What do we got?
PSP 1000.
Wait, I see a mini USB port.
Yes, USB Mini.
That is a mini USB port. I miss those. Those
Yeah.
remind me of fixing Blackberries.
I had these for pretty much my whole life, actually. My dad bought me it secondhand from one of his old tech buddies back in college, and he jailbroke it for me like first week. I've been using it ever since then. I think I've only used it for the past, I don't know, 5 years at this point, only as a Game Boy Advance emulator. I don't have her fully charged though, so I can't show off the emulator I have on her.
Thank you for taking the time. Yeah, I got an emulator to play to beat her in Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
She started cheating, so she won a few times, but I've enjoyed using like. I don't hear. Did anybody hear anything? I don't think I hear anything.
Motion
It
to
can't-
wind.
Yeah. Emulation is necessary to for game preservation. I was reading what the ESA was saying about this, and they were saying the reason they don't want to have a exclusion for the Digital Millennium Copyright Act for clicking games is they can't keep you from having fun. Essentially, somebody may enjoy it, and they can't figure out a way to show you the game, and have it be fully preserved without you also enjoying it. Because if you can enjoy it, this may cannibalize sales of new products. And I'm just reading this thinking, thank you so much for putting this shit in black and white.
Quick question. Are you going to ever sell a Universal Media Disc again, Sony? Huh?
That is gorgeous. Is that a mini disc?
Yes. Universal Media Disc.
Okay, what is the spec of the actual movie on there? Like, what is the resolution, codec, all that stuff? I'm very curious.
I don't actually know. I lost the case that had all that information, like, I think back in 2017. Pretty much just use it to keep the the media door from getting too dusty. And it is also the only way I will watch The Matrix.
Pretty cool. Well, thank you for coming out, my friend.
See you on these tulips.
See you later. Thank you for joining. Is that on auto or manual? Oh, that is on manual. That's on auto. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay. Absolutely. I fuck them boats.
It just says fuck them.
Fuck. Oh, I thought it said I. Fuck them boats. It really wants to focus on my eye. The facial detection on this shit is so good that I can't. If even a tiny bit of my face is in there, it'll focus on that. Pretty cool. By the way, Minnie, have I showed you how to switch it to manual focus if there's ever something so you want to put in front of the camera? Can I show you real quick?
It works fine so far.
Can I show you real quick? All right. There's a little switch over here. See this push auto? See this where it says manual focus, autofocus?
Yeah.
When you click that into manual focus, then you can turn this thing, and it will focus manually. So if you want to put something in front of the camera, like over here, but it keeps autofocusing on the wrong thing, and then you want to switch it back to autofocus, you just slide it right there. Who's the best camera person?
Thank you.
She just elbowed me right in the eye. She's just mad that I win in Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. They were cheese cubes this whole time.
I was looking, I seen people with peppers, jalapenos. I was like, where's the peppers? Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Kevin. I'm Olivia.
Olivia, really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This is Steven.
Hey, Steven. How are you?
Hey. Good to see you. We've been following you for a while. I work in tech and care a lot about like data privacy and stuff. So it's nice to be around like fellow people who care about consumer rights and yeah, just also connecting with the local community has been really nice. So like, thanks for coming to Vancouver.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very easy to think that when you complain about these things in YouTube comments or in an online chat or on a Discord that you're the only one who thinks this. So it's nice getting people all together in a room that all think that a thermostat becoming a subscription is bullshit.
Yeah, an awesome group of folks coming to talk as well. Like I didn't realize like Portland and Vancouver area had these small businesses, and even like up in Bellingham, and you know, just learning more. I'm not from Washington, so I'm like only been here for a few years, and it's just a nice way to meet fellow people.
I mean, I gotta say, like, we've done 3 events now. We did the first one in Austin, right, which is where we're based, and then we were in Boulder last week. But like, one of the amazing things has been the people who are like, either, hey, this is my hometown and I'm so stoked to come to this, or I'm gonna hop in the car and drive 4.5 hours to come and talk because I care about this stuff. Like Stacy came down from an island somewhere up there that I'm not from Washington, so I don't know. But you know,
one of the islands up there, yeah. Orcas, one of those, yeah.
So it's like people care about this, and I agree. Like it's been so cool to just like connect with folks who are also caring about this. So I'm curious, like, how long you've been working in tech your whole career?
No, actually, only like 5 years, but I work in like the trust and safety industry. Before I was just like working in esports, you know, like gamer stuff.
Cool.
But in the past few years, there's been a lot more like waves of regulations on, you know, age verification, and even like with, you know, the Take It Down Act, or like just content, online speech sort of ways of enforcing things. And regardless, like around the world, it's coming up a lot. It's not just like America. And when you're working for like a global platform, you think about like how it's going to affect everybody and not just one. And then you kind of get to like a geo-gated internet, you know, where it's like, So anyways, that's like something that has drawn me a lot to like your channel, and just nice to connect with people, because it is a very insular kind of community too, where like a lot of people don't really think about it that way. And I'm not a lifetime tech worker, so it's like normal people care about these things. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for coming out.
Great to come and connect with people, and like great presentation too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure meeting.
Are you having like
Pleasure meeting you too.
So far? Like, has this been like the bigger group or smaller, or?
I think Boulder was similar size, was pretty great. So we're going to be heading out we're in Spokane tomorrow, and so we're going to be in some more remote places. So I think we're going to see some fluctuation and kind of like how many people are there. But like that was part of the goal, right? It's like it's not just the city centers or whatever. It's like people are facing this all across the country. So.
Thanks for coming to me.
Hell yeah.
It was really awesome. Yeah. Got myself a T-shirt.
Hell yeah.
Kick-ass art too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the skeleton hands. Awesome. Yes, that one.
Yes, that
I got my T-shirt.
Have you
Yeah.
seen this? One of our coalition partners, I was talking about our Own Your Shit tour, and he's like, my brother is in the hardcore scene in Atlanta, and he makes like posters and merch for metal and punk bands. You need to get in touch with it. I'm like, hell yeah. So this is what he came up with, and it's so cool. I love it.
Richard by any chance?
No, his name is Brett.
Like I knew someone. I used to live in Atlanta. Like I knew someone who was really into punk. He's a graphic designer, so I was like,
that's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Brett Butler.
Okay. Cool though. Yeah, sick T-shirt.
Thanks.
I'll leave y'all alone.
No.
but Nice to chat.
Did you talk to Stevie?
I did.
Good.
I talked to her and I met Grace as well.
Awesome.
Cool team y'all have. Like
Yeah, we're pretty
really,
lucky.
really awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to meet the Consumer Reports lady. What's her name again?
Stacy.
Stacy
Okay. rocks.
I was like, she seems like a really interesting person.
She
so.
is.
And you're all very interesting. So.
But like, she's more interesting.
Yeah, she's had a really cool career.
Thank you
to
so
meet
much for coming out.
Yeah.
There's cheese. You turned them off because I forgot to. That's awesome. I would have forgot to turn those off. Okay. The cheese. Back to the cheese. Back to the cheese. Back to the cheese. Yeah, sure. A water and cheese. Okay, this is the end of the dairy for the evening. After this,
I was like, wow.
and so I was like, talking to the representative, they're T-shirts. What do you mean talk about them? This T-shirt over here, when there's no communication with the SMC, the voltage will be 8.16 volts. But when it has communication with the SMC, it'll be 8.55 volts. I'm not a T-shirt salesman. What? What are you laughing at? What are you always laughing at?
You're eating cheese like a little mouse.
You say I'm little, then you say I'm fat, all in the same.
And by the way, I never cheated on freaking Street Fighter, and I never cheated anywhere. So you get your lazy.
She did in Mortal Kombat.
No, never, ever. What?
There's a
I'm gonna put it down and end it.
Any final words?
That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. We're gonna keep doing this again and again all around the country, and hopefully we get some better results. I'd like to see what happens when you actually put in the effort. Beats doing nothing. And keep in mind, everything we're doing here, you don't have to show up to an event to do this. You can do it yourself. You can do all the things that he pointed out, everything that was on the screen. This is all doable, even if you're not able to make it out. And every last one matters. Share your story. Be like Stephen Ryan. Be annoying. Be as annoying as possible. Where is he? Did he stop annoying people? I'm going to be pissed if he... Oh, he's being annoying over there. Be like Stephen Ryan. Be as annoying as possible. It works. It does not work every time, but it works better than not doing anything at all. She's laughing. Be annoying, Grace.
I can be annoying. Yes. I can be annoying. Holding a soldering iron the wrong way.
The wrong way?
No, Kyle Wins told me to hold it like this, but I'm just gonna hold it like this.
Every fucking stock photo.
Yeah.
I had my website redesigned for a very brief period in 2018. They had a fucking picture on my site with that.
The picture from your site on the front of our lab door. It cycles through, and it's the guy holding the soldering iron the wrong way.
Yeah, so Paul wound up making fun of that. Like, Paul really, he's an exceptional photographer, but there's also times where I've given him shit to do. He's like, I do not want to be the person doing this.
And like he does it, but he's like, fine. You want me to take a picture for the website? Fuck you. I'm gonna hold the soldering iron by the tip. I miss Paul so much. It was one of the shittiest parts of leaving New York was losing people like him.
Such a big part of who we are, right? As people, and if we, yeah, when we take ourselves away from part of a community for whatever reason, it changes our identity a little bit.
Yes, very much. I kind of miss pre-2020 life in some ways.
I'm not going through COVID.
Same. All right, ready to end? You know how to end it? Hit the record button, but you have to unlock the record button, Mini Lipski. Unlock the record button.
Oh shit, I think I plugged it out. Thank you for tuning in. Have a beautiful day, everyone. There has been a ton of people watching, actually. Thank you very much for watching. And if there is a tour date near you, please come by. Thank you.
Okay, now we have to stop the stream. The stream is still going to be going. So you hit menu. We got to scroll